Welcome to the Line Share, where we spotlight agents who are booming in our real estate community. Today, we are highlighting Victoria Smith, who has been an agent for the last 4 years, and she has quite the story to tell, and I cannot wait to share it with you today. So yeah, my first experience with podcasts or anything like that was actually some guys that I went to high school with who are actually pretty darn famous these days. You're probably a little bit too young to know them, maybe, but you'll have to look them up. So there were these guys in high school. Their names were Rhett and Link, and they would go around the community doing different kinds of videos. And we all were kind of like, what are these guys doing? You know, they're crazy. And they would go around and they would interview people. And it was just two high school kids running around with cameras. And fast forward to today, they have a podcast called Good Mythical Morning, and gosh knows, I don't know how many followers they have, but they live out in California now. They're way famous. And so looking back now, you know, those guys, we all thought they were crazy and just, like, what are they even doing with their life? And now they're famous. So podcasts, I wish I'd have got into them years ago and learned.
Yeah, when you were in school, everybody's staring at them like, what are you doing?
Yes.
And then now you're like, what are they doing?
Look, they're living in
Like,
California.
look at them now. Like, I wish I was doing what they were doing.
Yeah, they're living out in California, living their best life. They'll come to town every now and then. And when they do, it's like they're celebrities.
Yeah.
They show up and everybody's kind of like, oh my God, it's Rhett and Link. But yeah, they're from right here.
They're like, I went to school with them. Like,
Yeah.
I know them. Like, I went
Yeah.
to school with them. Like, they're in my yearbook.
Yep, they sure are.
That's what I like. Yeah.
Yeah, but the podcasts are interesting. You know, it's one of those things, stepping outside of your comfort zone. You know, every single thing that we're doing every single day is stepping outside of our comfort zone and, you know, putting ourselves out there so people know who we are and what we do. I'm kind of embracing it. It's becoming fun.
Yeah, I have never been on a podcast. I've never done podcasts, but I always said I wanted to because I feel like they're, like you said, it's taking me out of comfort zone. Like, I don't like to make videos. I don't like to record myself, but I feel like a podcast is more natural.
Yeah.
I feel like because you're not recording yourself, somebody else is recording you, but it's kind of like you're just having a conversation. I mean, you got headphones on and there's a microphone, but it's like having a normal conversation.
Yeah. And I'm having to really, you know, step outside of my comfort zone. Videos is not my comfort. I hear this voice and I'm like, I hear my voice and I just cringe.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I can't, videos.
Yeah, but I thought, okay, I'm telling you, you need to do video. You should be doing video, and then I'm not doing it myself. So I'm like, okay, if I encourage everybody else to do video, I've got to get my butt on the camera and doing it, and maybe I just don't watch it, but I've got to do it.
Yeah, that's if I feel like I can record and I didn't watch it. Like if I was to record it and then somebody take my phone, it would probably be okay. But I think I'm my own hardest critic. So like I'll record it and then I'll edit it. And then I'm like, no, that's trash.
Yep.
And then it would never get posted.
And you should just post it.
Or either by the time I'm ready to post it, it's like old. So it's either not going to be trending anymore, and I'm just like over it at that point. I'm like, see, I took this video and I said I was going to save it to add this and this and this and that, and then now it's old.
Well, think about me. I'm sitting in here at my desk and I post a video and I'm like, I'm never opening this video again. And then all of a sudden, I hear Mama Jean playing it. It's my voice, and I'm like, Mom, turn it off. I don't want to hear it.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna start. Like, I'm gonna start with videos. I'm gonna record them and just post.
Just post them.
I'm gonna
and walk away. Don't even look.
Like, I'm not even gonna edit them. I'm not even gonna crop them up. Like, if they sound like trash, the next one's not gonna sound like trash. But
well, you know, our video guy back here, he told me that he actually had I think it was a TikTok go viral, and he said it was the crappiest one he had ever made, and that was the one that went viral.
I feel like that's what makes me mad. Like on TikTok videos, people get like, they go viral and it's like a mess up or it's a bloopers or they fall. And I'm sitting here like taking 3 hours to edit a 30-second clip. And they're going, and I post that video after like 3 hours of editing, and then they post a video of like one take, they fell, they stuttered, like they had drool coming out their mouth and they went viral.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what am I doing wrong? Hence like the podcast guys, like they were walking around just being silly in high school. Now they are in California.
And I think one of the most important things, and I know I've been on this kick for probably at least the last year, was being authentic. You know, people just want to know who you really are. They don't want the fake side of you. They don't want the perfect side of you. They want you to be genuine and they want you to be real. and they just want you to be knowledgeable.
Yeah.
As you know, I think you said something to me the other night on the phone that really cracked me up. You were like, Misty's out here running around in flip-flops and blue jeans and a t-shirt.
Yeah.
And that is literally, 100% how I show up. I show up
because
who
I feel
am.
like some people were telling me in real estate, like, since I was going to the gym every day, and for me one of the things I was trying to hold myself accountable was trying to leave the house, because if I'm in the house, I'll start, like I said, doing my kids, cleaning, cooking, watching Law and Order or something like that. So I was leaving to go to the gym, and when I would leave to go to the gym, I would take all my work stuff with me, and I would just go to like one of our brick and mortars and just work.
Yeah.
So I would have on my gym clothes, and then someone told me that I needed to like stop wearing gym clothes. Like I needed to get dressed, and I'm sitting here like, why am I getting dressed in heels every day for what? Because they said I needed to look the part. I'm like, what's that part?
Girl.
I'm like, what is that part? Like, and so I thought, at first I didn't do it because I just thought it was weird. But then I'm like, Misty, I've never seen Misty in heels. Like, what are we talking about? Misty wears jeans every day. And so I didn't do it. But like I said, I started wearing more real estate stuff. Like my gym stuff was real estate stuff.
Yep.
Like my hoodie said real estate, my t-shirt said real estate, my pants said real estate. So I felt
They
like
knew.
that's what I'm saying. They knew I was a real estate
Yeah.
agent. And I feel like me wearing gym stuff, it made me more relatable to people.
Yeah.
Like it made me look authentic. Like I feel like if I'm an agent walking around in Fayetteville, North Carolina with heels on a Tuesday morning at 8:30 with a full face of makeup, I think people would look at me like,
I'm relatable.
yeah, like they would feel like either I'm too busy to, sell their house, or I'm not gonna have enough time for them. They're gonna feel like I'm just over the top.
Yeah.
They want people that look like them, that dress like them. Like I was more relatable, so I didn't do it. But because like I said, I'm like, Misty is badass, and Misty's got on flip-flops. Like Misty's got like 37 Airbnbs and stuff like that, and Misty's out here doing cartwheels. And I'm like, so if Misty out here doing cartwheels, like breaking her back, like I can wear workout pants every day if I'm going to the gym, as long as I got on my real estate hoodie. So.
It's really funny because when I first got licensed, I went to a Raleigh firm, and I'm from Harnett County, which is country as all get out. And I get to this Raleigh firm, and I'm looking around at all these girls, and they've all got red bottoms. They're in suits, and I'm like, oh shit, I am never gonna make it in this business. That's not me. I'm never gonna be one, to wear those things. And, I finally just decided, like, okay, I'm just gonna be me. And, if people like me, then they'll want to work with me. If not, they can chase the red bottoms.
Yeah, and I feel like that's a lot of people that's getting to this industry, they feel like they have to look a certain way. They have to drive a certain car to be a top agent. And I used to be the same way. And I used to think, well, maybe if I, go on this, Fashion Nova haul, and I wear like Tory Burch slides every day and wear like pants that I got to put creases in to take to the cleaners, maybe I'll get more clients. No, it didn't do anything for me. It just made me spend extra time getting dressed,
And spend more money.
And I don't even need to dress up until I'm going to a closing.
That's right.
I'm like, that's when I put on my church clothes.
Yeah.
Like my church clothes. Like
how are you gonna go into a house if you got on?
Exactly. I'm like, if there's an inspection or something like that, I'm there.
Yeah.
I got on my flip flops, or if I'm going to a listing presentation, I'll have on
Me
nice
too.
clothes. But other than that, I'm gonna have on my flip flops, my slides. I'm gonna have on a hoodie, because you never know. I might need to crawl up in the attic. I might gotta pull down a ladder. Like, what do I look like? With some a pencil skirt with stockings on, trying to climb up a ladder. Like, no.
Yeah, it doesn't work.
I need to be comfortable. Like, I feel like if I can't dress comfortable, I can't be comfortable.
Yeah, and it's funny. I tell my clients when they see me for the first time, especially when I go to, a first listing appointment, I tell them straight up, I'm like, don't expect to see me like this again, because I am going to be in work clothes.
Yeah, I say to people all the time, I'm like, because most of my clients now that I've gotten, I would say probably 70 or 80% of them came from just social media.
Yeah.
Like they've heard people said something to them through social media, and I've either they've texted me or called me, but they don't really know who I am. Most of them have never seen me. Like I said, if they text me or call me, they get my contact card, or I give them my social media and they see my profile photo, and I'm like, yeah, so that person, you're not, yeah, that was a photo shoot. I'm like, I don't look like that right now. Like, I was like, we're not gonna do a video, or if I have to set up a video call or a Zoom call because I'm doing something, I'm like, so that picture you saw, I don't even look like that on a regular. I'm like, that was a photo shoot we took with BLA, and I'm like, I had to buy an outfit. I was like, I had to do my hair, I had to put on makeup, but no.
I know today I told Max, I said, I'm not dressed up today. I'm coming in jeans and, just my regular.
Yeah, I guess same way.
I hope Victoria doesn't come all dressed up.
I know. I was like, this is Misty. I'm like, Misty's gonna have on some jeans and some flip flops. So I was like, I'm pretty sure I don't have to put on any. I was like, I know it's Sunday, but I'm pretty sure I don't have to get dressed for church.
No, girl.
I was like, if anything, Mama Jean's gonna be in the office and be like, what the hell do you have on?
No, she's used to it from me.
Right.
Do you want to talk at all about being widowed?
I can.
It's up to you.
Yeah, I don't mind. Yeah, we can talk about it because I feel like being widowed in that type of trauma, I feel like people might not be widowed, but I feel like it's a part of me and how I got to where I am right now. Because sometimes people can say, no, my life is worse. But I feel like if I tell them no, like if they know, I can say I've had a shitty life, but until they know exactly what made my life shitty, it makes me more of like a relatable person to people.
Yeah. So, I think one of the first conversations I don't even think we talked about it in the first conversations, but, found out, later on, which, I was widowed, you were widowed as well. And, both of our situations were very unexpected passings of our husbands. You were left with more kids than me. But, it is a challenge that, I feel like, you have to overcome getting into this business. And you talk about shitty things that happen to you. I kind of felt the same way. It was like, I'm constantly getting dealt a shitty hand.
Yeah.
Constantly.
Every single time.
And, then whenever I got in, let's go back to being a mom. When you're a mom, and especially being widowed, you just have to figure shit out.
Yeah.
There's no way around it. There's no one who's going to come save you. You have just got to hit the grind and just figure out a way, which I think makes us successful in real estate in a lot of ways. But we talk about past trauma.
Right.
And, I don't know, being widowed I think it made me more determined to be successful. But I think you've been widowed a little longer than me.
Yes, I became a widow very, very young. I became a widow at the age of 27. And I think when I became a widow, I was so young. My kids were young. Like my girls were like teeny tiny in elementary school. And it happened very suddenly. Like it was like my husband was killed. So it wasn't like, it was not saying anybody becoming a widow is different, but it was like I had a husband on a Monday night, and then Tuesday night I didn't have one. So it wasn't like it was a transition. It literally and then I was 27. And I had these girls, and I was at that time I was in cosmetology school. I was at Paul Mitchell. I was in cosmetology school. So he was in the Army, and the plan was I was gonna go finish cosmetology school. He was gonna get out of the military, and he actually had already signed up for real estate school.
Oh wow.
Yeah, he had signed up for real estate school back then in 2011 because he was gonna get out the Army. He was gonna go to real estate school. And I was in cosmetology school. I was going to graduate cosmetology school, and I was going to go work in a hair salon, and he was going to be a real estate agent. So at that time, real estate wasn't even in my sights. That was his thing. I never thought about it, but it was like, well, what the hell do I do now? Like I said, I finished cosmetology school, but then it was like, I got these kids. I have to be a mom. I have to be a dad. I have to be strong. I can't grieve. I can't mourn. And I'm in a state, North Carolina. I'm from Virginia, but I have no family. I don't really have friends because all I had was my kids, my husband, and, school. So it was kind of like I had so much going on, and it was kind of like you said, I feel like everything that could happen would happen to me. Like I said, I was staying in military housing at that time. We were in the process of moving off of military housing, and it was kind of like, oh my God, what do I do? I got to move on my own. And it was kind of like that wasn't working. I finished Paul Mitchell. I finished cosmetology school. I went and did the hair salon thing, which it worked out pretty well. But then of course I became a successful hairstylist, opened up my hair salon, and then COVID hit. So it was kind of like one bad thing after another. And I'm just kind of like, what the hell is going on?
So how did you end up in real estate school?
So I ended up doing real estate school. I think how did I even get to real estate school? Jeez, let me think. I was in cosmetology school, graduated Paul Mitchell. I opened up a hair salon. I opened up my hair salon. It was still open during COVID. I think at that time when I was in cosmetology school, not cosmetology school, when I was opening up my hair salon, I was the owner of the salon, but I was still also behind the chair. And what I wanted to do, I wanted to just still own it, but I didn't want to work behind the chair anymore. I felt like where my kids were, I was away from home a lot. So I needed to do something where, I was an entrepreneur then, but I needed something that would give me more freedom to make my own schedule. And I knew real estate was one of those careers where you made your own schedule. And of course you make your own money, but you make your own schedule. Like you weren't punching a clock. And I think that's when I decided to go to real estate school. And like I said, I went to school in person. And that's what made me decide to become a real estate agent, because I needed the freedom. I had my kids, and my kids were still, growing up, but I needed to be there for them.
I think it's kind of really cool. It's almost like, his dreams are living on through you, which gives me chills.
Yeah. It's crazy when I think about it, or when I tell people about it, or my girls, even though they're older now, like they will always, even though they were like 6, my oldest, the twins, they don't really remember anything, but my oldest who's 22 now, and she would always say, Mama, and I would be like, what, Aaliyah? And she'd be like, remember when Dad, I was going to real estate school? Because he never actually went, but he had he had enrolled, he paid the fee, he had gotten his little North Carolina real estate book, so he had all of his stuff. Because I remember I made fun of him because he was so excited that he was going to real estate school and getting out of the Army. Like he had his book, he had binders, he had a backpack, he had a messenger bag.
He was ready.
Yeah, he was ready to go, and I'm just sitting there like, okay, guy, like you don't even like people. Like, how are you gonna be a real estate agent? But that was my thought process, like making fun of him. And then I'm like, well, let me be an agent. And I think a part of that, knowing that's what he was going to go do, I think that stays in my mind as well, like to kind of, okay, Victoria, give it another shot.
I think it's really interesting. You said, let me be a real estate agent. So you were working the let them theory before you even knew you were, you were working it. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. And because I feel like in the back of my mind, I feel like I can't, like if he was here and he was a real estate agent, he would be successful by this time. So I can't give up because I feel like I'm living his dream through him. He wanted to be a real estate agent, so why not be a successful real estate agent?
And that's awesome, and you're killing it.
Yeah.
You put in a lot of work, especially over the last year, consistent work, and you're doing the dang thing.
Yeah, and I think it feels good for my kids to, like if I leave the house and, my kids were so used to me saying like, or I'll be in my room and I'll just be like crying and they'll come in the room, Mama, what's wrong? Nothing. But in my mind, I'm sitting there thinking like, how I'm gonna pay this bill this month? How I'm gonna pay this bill next month? Oh, the realtor dues just came up. It's $835. They don't know why, but that's what I'm sad. And I'm just sitting there like, oh no, don't worry about it. But now like my kids hear me all the time. Like when I say, oh, I have to go put a sign in the yard, and my kids are like, a sign for what? And I'm like, I have to go sell a house. They're like, what? And then I think when it's happening so consistently, my kids are like, Mom, are you lying? Like, turn on your location. Let me see this house, because they're not used to me saying that. Yeah. So now that I got to go meet a client, or I'm always like, take your brother, I'm on a Zoom. And they're like, Mom, where are all these clients coming? They're like, Mom, you're really working now? And I'm like, I've always worked. I just wasn't really doing much, but I actually got a real job now. So it's kind of like for them to actually see me actually working
and seeing the success.
Yeah,
man.
Like they're actually seeing it now. Because like I said, at first they used to say, Mom, you're not doing anything. Because I'll be like, oh, I'm going to go look at a house. But it was me going to go look at a house, just doing videos of the houses. But now I'm like, I got to go meet a client, or I got to go listing appointment. And they're like, wait, for real? And I'm like, yeah. So like to see them and they're just like really questioning it now, like, oh, Mom, I've never seen you go to work this much. And I'm like, yeah, I got a real job now, so leave me alone.
And you're probably happy.
Yeah.
I mean, life, like you talk about, there's always, just shit being dealt the shitty hand. And it's like now things are really starting to make sense. You've done so much, work on yourself this last year, and there's probably a lot of joy at your house.
Yeah, I remember when, like I said, right when I had joined Charity, and it was a client, my very first client that I had gotten when I was with Charity. I remember talking to Charity like, so there's this lady in my neighborhood. She wants to sell her house, and her house has been sitting on the market like 6 months. And she reached out to me and was asking me, she made a post on my neighborhood page about looking for a property manager. and she made an anonymous post because the agent was in the neighborhood. And I remember I was like, she made an anonymous post, and I just inboxed her because I didn't want to manage her property, but I wanted to inbox her to kind of see what she was talking about to try to persuade her into selling it. And I remember Charity was like, well, did you follow up with her? And I'm like, no, because I don't really know what to say. Because I was like, yeah, she told me she has a house, has been sitting for XYZ months with XYZ agent. And Charity was like, so why didn't you follow up with her? I was like, I don't know what to say. I was like, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to do. And I was like, I've never had a listing. I mean, I've had one before, but I didn't know what to do with. Like, it was like a deer in headlights when I had that listing a long, long time ago. And I was like, I don't know what to do. And Charity was like, girl, like, if you don't contact that lady back, and I think this conversation happened with me and Charity and another of us agents. We was on a Zoom. This was a Saturday. And when she was like, girl, we had our conversation. She was like, you're going to reach back out to that client and you're going to talk to that client. This was a Saturday. On Monday, we had another Zoom, and I was like, Charity, guess what? And she was like, what? I was like, she asked the agent to terminate the listing agreement, and she's going to let me sell her house.
Wow.
I remember, and like I said, because I told Charity, I was like, I don't want to sell the house. And she was like, well, I was like, because I don't know. I don't know how to list the house. Like, I know you can hire a photographer, but I'm not good with CMAs. I don't know what to say. Like, the agent she has is a super rock star agent. Like, what can I say to sell myself to make me better than that other agent? Like, I was doubting myself, and Charity was like, get her to sign a listing agreement. The rest of it is the easy part.
That's right.
And I think once I did that, and it was kind of like, oh, she signed a listing agreement, then what next? I think once I did that, it was kind of like, oh, I made it.
Yeah, and it's crazy because you're not the same girl I met a year ago. Not at all. Like you could just see so much difference in, the girl that I met and the girl who shows up today, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. I'm just, like I said, I feel more confident in myself. I feel more confident in my career. And I feel very proud of what I've achieved thus far. And from where I started, like even before I became a real estate agent, from me feeling like my life was never going to be great, because in my mind, I was thinking, I'm 27, I'm a widow, like nothing's ever going to be successful for me. Like at this point, I've just been dealt a shitty hand, and it's just never going to get better. And then so now that I see like my life is starting to go up, I feel like I don't want to look back. Like I just want to keep going. I just want to keep going. And that's why I feel like every time someone tells an agent to call me or talk to Victoria, I love talking to people, because it's like, turn that frown. I feel like a clown. Turn that frown upside down. Like I promise you, it's bad now, but it won't always be bad.
And it's so rewarding to help someone else too. I mean, like there's a lot of joy in that too. Helping an agent, figure things out. There's a lot of joy in being a giver, and it just, it blows my mind how many people gatekeep in this business.
Yes.
When there's no reason for us to.
It's like they gatekeep, or either if I've noticed throughout that they gatekeep, or they want you to pay for their advice. And it's so annoying to me. That's why when people talk to me, or I'm like, call me, text me. Like, I'm not a coach, I'm not a mentor, I'm not a therapist, I'm just Victoria.
Yeah.
All I can tell you is what I'm doing and how I got there. Like so many agents, whether through my social media, that it's crazy that I've had other agents reach out to me through social media that might have known me 3 years ago. Like I said, they've probably been agents 10, 12 years, and their career just kind of is at a standstill. And it became, I realized I had a, oh my gosh, I made it moment, is when those agents started reaching out to me. Hey, Victoria, let me ask you. And I'm like, what? They were like, what did you do? And I'm like, about what? And they were like, how did you start getting all these listings? And I'm just like, I just started holding myself accountable.
Yep.
They literally will always ask me, that's all you did? And I'm like, I was like, I tried everything under the sun, but just knowing those agents were reaching out to me because they started noticing me. So it helped me feel so, like, I felt like it gave me so much more confidence to know that other people were watching me and that they were seeing me. And I'm like, oh my God. Like, I felt like, it was kind of like Beyonce was talking to me. It was like, Victoria, like, I know like a couple years ago, like, I know they wanted to be like, girl, you was trash a couple years ago. Like, how did you go from 0 to 100 so quick? And I'm like, wait, you're asking me? Like, you're a rock star agent. So just knowing that those other agents were now calling me because they were at the top and now they're kind of going downhill, it felt good.
Well, don't think that, not everybody who talks or asks, they always aren't going to call you. But I've heard a lot of people have taken notice of what you've done and how you've grown over the last year. So people are definitely noticing, which is why, I felt like you needed to be on here to tell your story, because your story is complex. Your story is hard. And, the fact that you were just really able to dig down, put the work in, work on yourself, work on your business at the same time. It's just really incredible.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, I love it now. I love talking. I love real estate. And like I said, I just can't wait. I wish 5 years can hurry up and come so I can, sell 1 billion homes. And then I can see myself, being able to afford some Beyonce concert tickets or something like that.
Well, invite me to go with you.
Yeah, we're going. Like, we're going to go in our flip-flops. And we're going to have cowboy boots on, though.
We're going to be line dancing.
Yeah, we're going to be line dancing. Like, we're actually going to have on good clothes.